Matt, just take a minute and tell us what you do to make dreams come true for the rodeo dental world.
Absolutely. Well, one, I appreciate you guys allowing me to hop on as well. I love hearing, I hear Dr. Mansour talk all the time just about this amazing culture that we've built out here at Rodeo. And that's honestly was built before I even got here. My job really is to vet and attempt to find those talented dentists now and specialists who fit that culture and fit that model. And I've just been so fortunate to work with such an incredible team that's continuing to grow. And yeah, I noticed a couple of chats on here of whether or not we're looking. I've partnered with Dr. Paul for a while now myself for about 3 years. So it's nice to be back in the fold.
Awesome, Matt. I mean, we're gonna, spend, we won't keep you guys too long, but I love this topic. Let's just kind of start with something fundamental, even though it's so cliche and people ask it all the time. But when you're interviewing and hiring associate dentists, you get intake from different sites, Job Connect, Indeed, personal referrals. What's the start to the process look like? I think there's dental students here who have one of the things I say, Yaya, you're not too much younger than me, I don't think. It's like our days of finding jobs. It's like the Oregon Trail. So, okay. So it's
Yeah.
like dentistry has such bad processes for even knowing how to get a job. So, Matt and Yaya,
Yeah.
what's kind of like the first steps? Do people send in email and resumes? Do you do a video interview? Tell us what you're looking for in the first steps.
Sure. So, I mean, first and foremost, the best thing you can do is really just get in touch with somebody from the team. So, I myself have a team of three recruiters who work across all regions, but we love to receive resumes beforehand. Really, the biggest thing here is we want to talk, right? We want to get to know what's important to you, what makes you tick, because that's how we're going to figure out who is actually going to fit here within our culture, right? And so, one of the big things that we look for is somebody coming to us, whether it's from Dentist Job Connect or maybe it's a referral, but we love those who kind of reach out and then we can cultivate those relationships from there.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. I know were an associate at one point. You're hiring associates now. It's a scary thing to go from dental school or residency into the real world. It to me, whether it's Job Connect, Nachos, or my two dental practices, it's important that the applicant also wants to be there. And
Yes.
I can bring anyone into dental nachos because we just so you know, no customers show up at dental nachos. It's just us, right? It's kind of nice. But in a dental office, it's like running a circus each day. How do they get just an idea of what happens in the office they might want to work in? Do they come and observe for a day? Do they talk to another associate? I always thought that that was kind of a crazy part. Like I know I'm long-winded, but I'll say many dentists, Yaya, who don't have parents like dentists like us, the first time they're not a patient in a dental office is their first day as an associate, which is just crazy, right?
Yeah, it's a really crazy thing, and we like to start the process early. So we even invite, if you're a D4, we'll invite you to a mini residency, for example, and you can come see the practice and see what's happening. But we want you to see, yeah, we'd like you to talk to other associates, and we have you talk to, a lead doc or other docs as well. But we want you to come in and see what the practice is like, because we want to be an open book and be transparent, so you can see what the morning opportunity is like. All this we talk about culture, come and see it, because as much as I talk about it, when you're in there, you can feel it, you can sense it. Like
Yeah.
there's a texture to culture and an energy to it, and that part's important. And Matt does a phenomenal job. I mean, even look at Matt, and he's built a culture within his team that embodies these core values. So no matter what your role is, that part's really important. But as far as doctors coming in, yeah, we're always more than welcome to have doctors come in and interview on site. Yeah, we'll do a Zoom, but we want you to see the practices where you're going to be at and see the team members that you're going to work with.
I think that's so key. I think that, you know, we and dental school probs are friends and people talking. Matt, you're a normal person. You're not totally normal because you work with dentists, so that's not. But Yaya and I went to school to become professionally odd, right?
Yeah.
And people say, become a dentist if you love it. Become a dentist if you love it. And I go, how can you taste test dentistry, right? You just can't. And it doesn't mean that, you know, you should or shouldn't become a dentist, but I just find of all fields, it's just so hard to taste test it. If you, especially if you're a parent, I mean, I spent a lot of time in my dad's dental practice, Yaya, like you, but you still
Yeah.
don't know what it feels like until you're in that environment. And I think associate dentists listening, this is your life too. Make sure you're putting yourself in places where you're going to thrive. And some places are fits and some are not. Now, yeah, there's some owners on here. So we'll kind of go back and forth a little bit, Matt.
Yeah.
You were owned one practice and now you're up to 50 practices. What early on, what were some of the pain points or pivotal decisions in the growth? 5 to 10, 10 to 15. My friends are on here with 4 or 5. I don't know if they can picture adding a zero on the end of that, or maybe they want to, but just give us some insight on that.
I think the biggest thing, and this kind of happened by happenstance, and when I came out and met Dr. Z, he was here in Texas, and I remember him picking me up, and I said, we can build something great here. What the number was, I didn't know, but one of the biggest key, and I look back and there was inflection points, right? We went from 1 to 2 pretty quick, but there was 3 of us at that point, so that was kind of easy. But then when we got to 6, that was a big, and we realized, hey, we have to build some infrastructure. It's not just about aggregating, right? Some people think, oh, I'm just going to buy a practice, I'm going to aggregate them. No, then you got to start having a culture in a continuity of systems. But getting over that mental leap of realizing, hey, I have to build infrastructure before I can grow, because it feels
Yeah.
very constraining and tough. And then the second piece, we went from 6 to 10, that we hit another inflection point. So there's certain ones, and it might be different for each person's practice type. I don't think you can really quantify it, but you're going to feel the pain points and realize you have to take a step back and say, what is this pain telling me? What does the organization need? What does the company need? What do I need? And one of the biggest things was I realized I got to hire people that are good at what I suck at. And some of that is, I'm great at like vision and I need somebody like that can organize it and create the mechanics
Yeah.
and hire people. And then you have to realize you got to let go some of the power. That was one of the things I was saying when dentists were so full of ourselves, right? We think it's all about us, like the show,
Yeah.
like we're the stars of the show, and
Yeah.
like no, like I hate to break it to you, you're not. Like let the other people do their job, give up some control, but we like to keep control.
I mean,
But giving
we're
that
so
up,
dramatic. I mean, if another dentist tells me my practice is my baby, I don't know if I can hire an associate to take care of my baby. I'm like, you leave your real baby with a random babysitter so you can go on vacation, right? So
yeah,
if you don't get an associate, which I say babysitters take care of the most important people in our lives, and I know Morgan from my team, who is both our amazing babysitter and Job Connect team member. And us dentists, we can be very dramatic, but you cannot get freedom unless you have other dentists helping you do it. It's just so hard to be the only dentist in an office who can do that. Now, I want to go to leadership in a second, but Matt, I want to ask you a question. Just give us some insight. There's no wrong or right answer to any of this, but coming out of dental school right into an associate job, or coming with the experience of a general practice residency or an AEGD,
Mhm.
there's dental students watching, there's new dentists. Tell us a little bit about some of the experience you've had with people who've had experience doing some surgery before they come to you, people who haven't. I know our group would like to hear that.
Yeah, I think one of the most intriguing parts to me, we do a lot of events. In fact, Dr. Zarabi, our CEO and one of our other co-founders, he actually is doing a big lunch and learn tomorrow at Texas A&M. And so we work a lot with dental students and people coming straight out or out of a residency program. One of the big things that I've noticed is these dentists tend to really thrive because they're getting to do these mini residencies that we do. They're getting to train, they're getting to learn together kind of on the fly. And it allows them an opportunity to get their feet wet in so many different areas of dentistry. That's one of the big appealing parts to us being all specialties under one roof. Right. We have the ability for some of these new GPs to come in and they're going to see some of the best pediatric dentists work. They're going to see.
Tell us, just break down, Matt and Yaya. I'm really impressed with these mini residencies. Us dentists, we need details. We need the probing depth of 15 distal, and we're working on 30. Why? We don't know. There's something wrong with us. But kind of break down I want the group to understand how
yeah.
amazing these mini residencies are. These are on real patients or on mannequins?
These are on real patients. So what we did was down in South Texas, between South Padre Island, which is a really nice beach area, and McAllen, we have 15 offices, and it's really the heart and soul of the culture of the organization. Uh, what we did was we partnered. There's a group down there called Dentists Who Care, and it's a group of dentists that treat the underinsured. So these are patients that they can't get public health insurance. They don't qualify and they can't afford private insurance. So they're in this no man's land where they're going to end up in the ER, in pain. They're going to end up in this really bad spot. And we said, well, what if we treat them and we take care of them? We put into the community, like I said before, but also we have our amazing generalists and our specialists, which are great, teach the courses around the mini residency. So there'll be a didactic portion, and then under the guise of the specialist or the generalist or whoever's teaching it, we're treating those patients and delivering access to care for them. You get CE, you get to learn, and you get to help the community. So it's a win-win for everyone. It's been this beautiful program that's just really blossomed and has really been kind of the crown jewel of our clinical
Mhm.
excellence program.
I think I really commend you for doing that for so many people, especially patients, because you can't see, but across the way is where we have that half-court basketball court in our building. Just want to let people know that's not my house. People go, "You have it inside your house?" I say, "No, it's in our building, and I can go out and practice three-point shots as much as I want without any risk. I can work on my form. I can see what works and what doesn't. And the toughest part of dentistry, Matt, for someone, maybe one day you'll go to filling fantasy camp, but if not, you're gonna have to live your life without drilling on a tooth. And Yaya can
Yeah.
share the hardest part is you're always in the game. And then when you've created this out of the game practice thing with mentors and patients who know I taught a lot of implant courses where people were getting free implants and they knew they were being trained by people learning. And there's something magical about that experience that's totally transparent for people who need it. So I commend you for doing that because people
Thank you.
say, oh, just go out and practice and get better. But like these are real people, right? Like, they're real people. And sometimes it's not even about the the care could turn out as well. But if we both all go to my favorite restaurant, Elvez, and I say, oh, Matt, you're going to get the same nachos, but your server is going to take 3 hours. And Yaya's and I is going to take 30 minutes. Who's signing up for the 3 hour nachos, right? We're just not.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think that's the hardest part. So doing that to help teach efficiency, camaraderie is great. Now, as
really.
we're going to talk a little bit about what you do for associates on this special day coming up. Yeah, you said in yours. What happens? This is a big part of your culture, and I was blown away. I knew it was going to be great, but it was greater than I even expected. So tell them a little bit about what happens on this day, because I think for context, Yaya and Matt, like you have associates who clearly they don't see each other through the year. They're practicing in different geographical locations. So what's the mission behind this day or weekend that you put together for your associates?
Yes, what we really do for this day, the goal is to really rally and galvanize everyone around the mission again, but also to learn something great. Like we bring in great speakers. We're going to bring in, actually, I shouldn't say, but we're going to bring in somebody really, really great. It's kind of a surprise, but they're going to
Keep it a
talk
surprise. I
about,
like suspense. They like fun.
yeah,
Keep it a
they're going to
surprise.
talk about they're going to talk about how you create patients that repeat and refer, and they have nothing to do with dentistry. So again, I'm trying to learn as much from outside of dentistry and bring it in as possible. But it's really also to create the culture where they get to meet each other. Like, oh my God, you're Dr. Petty. Like I heard about you. You went on the mission trip to Guatemala and they get to learn and have fun and really get to talk to each other. Otherwise, you're just a bunch of different buildings. But no, we're a company, we're a tribe. So it's to build and bridge those connections as well. And we're going to have a lot of our regional managers there as well, because that partnership again between operations and clinicians is really key to success and to excellence. So the goal of the goal is to galvanize people around the mission, but also to learn and come out better with this with stronger relationship with the rest of your team members.
I love that. I saw Matt at the last one a couple years ago. Matt and Yaya, I'll start with you. Now, it's normal for dentists to talk about wanting to own a practice, but as years go on, some never want to own, some aren't sure if they want to own. But I know you have some creative ownership opportunities. Tell us about that, because whether it's the Rodeo DSO or other DSOs or DPOs, I'm a big proponent of having associate dentists be open-minded to ownership opportunities that don't look like 100 or zero. And I know
Yeah.
you've seen your path. So kind of how do you navigate those conversations with associates applying, Matt and Yaya, and tell us kind of what the opportunities are for someone who is interested in some type of ownership, but might not want to own a practice 100%.
Yeah, it's a really great question. I got asked this at Dicom as well, and I said, how many people have kids that say, I can't wait till I'm 18 and I get out of the house. I can do what I want. I can, stay out as late as I want. I can eat what I want. Well, guess what? You also have to pay the bills. You have to be,
Yeah.
there's great because a lot of people idealize ownership in their mind and they don't realize, hey, that's 24/7. Like
Yeah.
I remember, I'm going to be really vulnerable. I remember Dr. Z and I like couldn't eat for the weekend. We couldn't go buy groceries early on because we had to make payroll. I mean, those are like real things that are going to happen in your path there. But if you want that, go for it. Like I'm not trying to discourage anyone from ownership. Like if you want to be, Dr. Worth and put up your shingle and do it, like God bless, empower you. You got this great community. You can do it. You can be successful. And some people just say, hey, I just want to clock in and out and treat my patients. Yeah, I'll do the good culture. I'll build a good culture in there. I'll treat people real well. But that's it. Like I don't have to come 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. or whatever. I don't want to have to think about dentistry at all. Then that's cool. You can be an associate. You can do great as an associate, right? You can do really great. You could even see what our associates do here. They do really, really well. They make owner like money by following our systems. And if you want something in between where you're like, I don't really want to go deal with the contractor and have to deal with repairs and payers and check collections and do all that, but I also want a little bit more than that. There's this in between where you can be a shareholder, you can have some equity in it, and yeah, you'll be asked to do some things that go above and beyond what an associate does, but you won't be asked as much of what, 100% owner, because 100% owner means 100% of responsibility too. So you just have to look at both sides of the coin and see what you truly want, and then you can find the right fit for you, whether it's finding the right, buy-in or find the right DSO you're going to be with. Just find what makes you happy that's there for the long term.
I love that. And just that's just like keep your options open. It doesn't have to look like your grandparents' dental practice. It
Oh,
doesn't mean you have to be an owner at all. And I mean, Gary V, said on one of his interviews, they said, when do you stop worrying about your business? Like when do you finally stop worrying about your business? When is it so stable you stop worrying about it? He says, easy. The same day you stop worrying about your children, never, right? And my amazing dad, even before he passed away in 2016, would still worry about me at the age of 38, and that's how I feel. And it doesn't mean not to do it. It just means to understand the pros and cons, the ups and downs, the risks and benefits. We should do a whole show on the informed consent of practice ownership from
yes.
practice owners. I want to keep you guys for just a couple more minutes. I kind of want to like give you this opportunity. I'll let you go first, Matt. Like if there was like 2 minutes that you wanted to share with Dentist Job Connect associates, what they should ask on interviews, how they should approach interviews, mistakes you see them make just in a value education based way. The floor is yours to kind of share that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think the biggest thing there's, as you guys know better than anybody, there are so many different practices and places to actually hone your craft as a dentist. But I think the biggest thing for me is when you're going around and you're asking these practices, what am I going to be doing on a day-to-day basis? I think you really have to factor in not only the interest of like your professional practice, but to Dr. Mansour's point, I think you really need to be looking at how you want to be treated on a day-to-day basis, what types of freedom you want to be able to have, and the types of autonomy you want to be able to have as an associate, because those, I guess, freedoms are not the same wherever you go. And so I would really look at what's a day in the life going to look like. Am I going to have somebody over my shoulder looking at me every step of the way? Or am I going to be able to go and seek a mentor doctor and be able to ask, hey, am I doing this prep correctly? Or whatever it is that you need to be doing. I think you really want to get as much have as much autonomy but support as humanly possible. And if that's the case, that's the biggest thing you need to ask in these interviews.
I think that's really valuable. I think it's frustrating to me that dental schools don't provide at least a little more understanding about how to navigate these huge career decisions after charging dentists $500,000. Dr. Arash was here with one of our star associates, Dr.
Yeah.
Brandon, still may be on, who moved to Missouri, and he wanted to go back. Guess where? California. Because if there's one thing in life is that people from California love to go back to California. They will come to Philadelphia and eat our good food, yaya, and go to our amazing schools, and they want to go back to California. But when he realized that California, an associate opportunity there would not align with his procedure goals, his financial goals,
Yeah.
he made an adjustment and moved to a place where he had opportunities in a more rural location. And I think that's not talked about enough. Why are more rural locations provide more opportunities is because fewer dentists give newer dentists more opportunities to do procedures, right? I mean, I would just be real. If I go to my dental office on Wednesday and someone wants to get a root canal done, we can't have the newest associate take 2.5 hours. There's
Yeah.
endodontists down the street, and it's just not works. But if they're in an area where that's one of the only opportunities, then they're thrilled to have someone do that. So, Yaya, same to you and your closing thoughts here on your amazing C course and what you'd want to share with the Nachos and Job Connect world. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. You bring up two good points. So Matt, freedom isn't free, right? When people have freedom, there's always a cost to it. How are they going to treat you? If you want to live in the big city, people are like, oh, I want to be in LA or Miami. Great. You're going to get paid less. The cost of living is going to be more. You're going to live in a big city, so you can do all those sorts of fun activities. But if you go rural, guess what? You're going to make a lot more money. You're going to do a lot more. So what is your balance? Like what makes you happy? And maybe you do that for 5 years. So people really have to look at that from all angles and really see what is sustainable for them, what fits their lifestyle, what fits their clinical skill set and their clinical goals as well. So that part's um, really important as well. But really just finding what your true north and what makes you happy and what's a good fit for you that you wake up every day, you say, hey, I'm lucky I like here. I like being here. I want to help a lot of people. I like my team. I like my patients. I'm happy. Happiness you can't really buy. And that part is the most important thing. It's not about 30% versus 28 versus 32. This daily minimum's higher. If you're
Yeah.
thinking about it like that, you're thinking about it all wrong. It's completely the wrong way because you could get stuck in a situation that you're not happy if you're asked to do just hygiene. I'm just making it up, or you're not allowed to do X, Y, and Z. What does
And
that
that's why I encourage
mean?
associates get context, apply to many places. This is your career. It's wild to me. These associate dentists will send out complicated Google spreadsheets for a bachelor party or a Cancun trip, and I go, "How many jobs do you apply to?" They go, "One." I don't like it. I go, "Well, I mean, context is everything.
Yeah,
Optionality is everything." And Rosh is still on here, who hired Brandon, and I just like to remind him in my closing thoughts. You want to find your championship job, just like the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles who are dominating the Super Bowl in such dramatic fashion, they put their backups in the Super Bowl. When was the last time? And I'm sorry to say on this Zoom that the Dallas Cowboys or the 49ers, Arash, have not won a Super Bowl since Facebook's been invented. Okay. It was the 1900s for the Cowboys. So that is what I would like to close with. Be a champion like these Philadelphia Eagles. Well, you guys were truly amazing. I see he was waiting for the 49ers joke. You guys are truly amazing. You're so generous. Really appreciate this. We'll get you guys the recording. Can't wait to see you guys in a couple weeks in South Padre Island. I'm so impressed that we had over 100 people watching in and half of them are still here. So you
yeah.
delivered an awesome show and truly appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, you and your amazing team, and can't wait to see you guys soon.
Awesome. See you guys in a couple weeks. Thanks
Appreciate you
everybody for
guys.
hanging with
Yeah.
us on
Thanks,
Zoom.
everyone.
Means a lot to me. All the support, everyone on Zoom here too, all my friends. Thanks, guys. Have
Thank
a
you,
great
everyone.
rest of the night.